She pretended to be deaf and mute, hoping that the townspeople would trust her more. She had heard the rumors about the strange happenings in this remote village, where witches and wolves were said to roam the night. She wanted to find out the truth, to expose the secrets that no one dared to talk about in front of strangers. She was a journalist from out of town, and she had a mission. She rented a small cabin near the woods and introduced herself as Anna, a mute traveler who was looking for some peace and quiet. She communicated with gestures and notes and smiled politely at everyone she met. She seemed harmless and innocent, and soon enough, the villagers accepted her as one of their own. She started to observe the town closely, looking for clues and evidence. She noticed that every full moon, the town would go into lockdown, and no one would venture outside after dark. She heard howls and screams from the woods, but she never saw anything. She wondered what was hiding in the shadows and what secrets the townspeople were keeping. She decided to sneak out one night when the moon was full and bright. She took her camera and her notebook and headed towards the woods. She hoped to catch a glimpse of the supernatural creatures that were rumored to exist. She was curious and fearless, and she didn't think of the consequences. She walked deeper into the forest, following the sounds of the night. She saw a clearing up ahead where a bonfire was burning. She hid behind a tree and peered through the branches. She gasped when she saw what was happening. There were people gathered around the fire, wearing masks and cloaks. They were chanting and dancing, holding hands and swaying. They looked like a cult, performing some kind of ritual. But that was not what shocked her the most. She recognized some of the faces behind the masks. They were the villagers that she had befriended, the ones that had welcomed her into their community. They were the ones that had lied to her, that had hidden their true nature from her. They were not human. They were shapeshifters. They could transform into wolves at will, and they did so under the light of the full moon. They were part of a pack, a family that had lived in this town for generations. They were loyal and protective of each other, and they hated outsiders. They sensed her presence. They turned their heads towards her hiding spot and sniffed the air. They smelled her fear, and they saw her camera. They knew she was a spy, a threat to their existence. They growled and bared their teeth, and they charged at her. She screamed and ran, but it was too late. They caught her and tore her apart. She never got to tell her story. She became their silent witness,